Hey everyone, welcome to Rethink Health. My name is Daniel, and today on this video, we're going to talk about the top benefits of kombucha and why we should have it for the health of our body. Coming up next. Hey everyone, welcome again. My name is Daniel, and on this channel, I teach and promote how we can eat and live that leads to a healthy lifestyle for the whole family today. And on this video, I'm going to talk about kombucha and the top benefits it has for the health of your body. And then later I'm just going to talk about those briefly, and then we're going to dive into how to make it. I'm going to show you how to make it. And so what is kombucha? And it's everywhere out there today. You see it in bottles in every grocery store. And you see maybe this weird mass in the kombucha too, so what is this stuff? So basically, kombucha is a family of bacteria and yeast that grows while it sits and ferments, and it's made out of tea, either black or green tea, cane sugar, and water. And it happens when you mix, boil water with green or black tea, let it steep, add sugar, cane sugar, add your SCOBY and let it ferment. As it grows, it creates what we call a SCOBY. And just looking at my notes here, it's a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That's what SCOBY means. So the SCOBY kind of sits on the top as it ferments, as it sits through days and ferments. It's the home where the yeast and bacteria collect and form. And so we use this SCOBY to make other kombucha, to continue the process of making kombucha. And kombucha is just full of nutrients and probiotics for the health of your gut. It's especially important for the health of your gut. And I use it daily, and my wife and my children use it as well. And I think above everything else that I do for my gut health, and we focus a lot on our gut health here in our family because it is so important. And I'll put a card up that you can see another video on the importance of gut health and 5 things. I think it's 5 things that we can do to improve our gut health because it's so important. Let's just dive right into the top benefits of kombucha. And the first benefit and the most important benefit, I'll just start right off with the climax here. It is full of good bacteria, probiotics. And probiotics are good bacteria, probiotics, whatever. We need it for the health of our gut. And I'm just so passionate about gut health because everything flows in and out of our gut. The gut is where digestion happens, where our body takes the nutrients from our food, it assimilates them appropriately, absorbs them, eliminates them from the body, right? It's a huge process that if we don't have the proper nutrients, we have toxicity in our body, it's going to slow down the health of our gut. We're going to see so many problems. And research says this, and I'll put some research in the show notes, that having poor gut health will lead to a host of chronic diseases and conditions, just like diverticulitis, like IBS or Crohn's, or even just bloating and pain and constipation, diarrhea. Just the list just goes on. And I believe the health starts in our gut. And if our gut isn't in shape, the lining of our gut will start to, rot is what comes to my mind, but will start to come apart. As the lining of our gut is out of shape and torn apart, the chemicals and the toxins can seep into our blood. And this is where we start to see disease happen. And it can manifest itself in anything, and it can manifest itself differently in everyone, whether it's an autoimmune disease or whether it's Crohn's or whether it's heart disease or whatever it may be, or an organ that's not working properly. It starts in our gut and then it will move to other organs. So the bacteria in our gut, the cells in our gut, outnumber the rest of our body 10 to 1. It's where the majority of our immune system lies, and the balance needs to be perfect in our gut, from 80-85% good bacteria and 10 to 15% of bad bacteria. That balance has to be perfect in our bowels for them to work properly and for our nutrients to be able to digest properly. They always say, you are what you eat, which is true, but you also, even more, you are what you digest. So, because if we're eating lots of good food and people are, well, you know, I'm eating good, like I don't understand why I'm feeling so bad. Well, it's probably because your gut is not in shape. How are your bowel movements? Are they regular? And I'll also put a link to know how to have good bowel movements, how to know if they're good, and how to know if your bowels are in shape. Check out the show notes for those. If our bowels are healthy, then we're going to be able to absorb the nutrients that our body needs and that our cells need to do what they do best, and that's to guard the homeostasis, the body's natural tendency to heal itself, to get back to its normal, regular state. It doesn't want to be sick, you know? So the body is fighting for us. We just need to give it what it needs. So coming back to this point, kombucha is full of probiotics that are good bacteria that our gut needs. Our gut is just full of trillions and trillions of them, and we need to fill it with good bacteria. All right, so on to number 2. The second point that I want to talk about is its vitamin and mineral content. You know, like we always think, well, it has a lot of good bacteria. That's what it is known for. But also, it's full of vitamins and nutrients, and some of them are B vitamins. It has a lot of B vitamins in it. Actually, it has vitamin B1 and 2 and 3 and 6 and 12. You might know them by other names like niacin or folate, right? So they also have enzymes and antioxidants and minerals. And number 3, moving quickly here, is detoxification. With the antioxidants it has in our body, these can fight off the toxins that come, the outside, the free radicals that come from the outside environment, from the toxins that are in our food or whatever we're allowing from our cleaning products or hygiene products, whatever we're allowing to come into our body. These antioxidants will fight against it so that they won't, so that the toxins can't destroy our cells in our body. Number 4 is that it boosts energy. The fermentation process actually contains iron. Iron is what the body needs to make hemoglobin, which is a protein in the red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to all the parts of our body. So that if we have that, and a lot of people know if you're weak and tired all the time, one thing is that you might be deficient in iron. Another one is magnesium. We're really deficient in, but I'll do another video on that later. Kombucha is a good source of iron, so our bodies need iron for boosting our energy. Number 5, also good for our joints and conditions that are affected by inflammation in our joints. So it has glucosamines in it, which increase the synovial fluid that makes collagen, right? So collagen is a protein that holds our tissues together. So it's really important, and if you struggle with pain in joints, arthritis or chronic fatigue or pain in your joints and stiffness, right? Have some kombucha, it might help you. All right, so that's the top 5 benefits. Just review them really quickly before we get into making it. Number 1 is obviously probiotics. Number 2, it's vitamin and mineral content. Number 3, detoxification. And number 4, boosts our energy with iron, and it's also good for your joints, supporting collagen. So let's dive into how to make it. So here we go to start our making kombucha. I have the kombucha that I've already made, a SCOBY that's actually separated already, as you can see. We have our green tea, and then we have our cane sugar. I got a huge bag from Costco, natural organic cane sugar. So here's all the ingredients we need. We'll just go over and boil some water to start. All right, so here we go, and I got filled it up to about just over 1 liter. So I'm gonna do this 2 times because I do 2 liters with my batch. So let that boil. And then while that steeps, I get this ready over here. This is my jug that I put the kombucha in to let it cool down. Or you can use it to store the kombucha, whatever, and then you can write the day that you did it so that you remember. Get out my tea, get ready my tea. I got my 1 cup of cane sugar. I got 4 tea bags. Some people say use 5, but I got 4. Get those out and ready while it's boiling, then put the boil water in. Tea is boiled. Take the tea over. I got 1 liter, and I'll do this 1 more time. And so I took my tea bags out, got the strings off them. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. Let those start steeping and get the other. Here we are with the 2nd liter of water boiling. Add it. And then once that's done, you let it steep. Some people, I don't get particular with minutes. When I let it steep for just a few minutes, and then after it's done steeping, I'll add my sugar. I'll take the tea bags out and then add my sugar to it and just stir it around a little bit and let it sit until it's lukewarm. And then while it's steeping, you can just make use of your time. It only takes a few minutes. You can take this out. Oh. And it's already separated, so it's fine. Usually if it's kind of coming off, then I'll try to separate. Don't pull it too hard because then you'll put holes in it. But if it can separate easily, then you can separate and you can have another one to give to someone else or do whatever you want with it. I just usually throw it out because we don't need it. So this is you see how that has a little bit of stuff on it. I usually just wash it off with cold water, make it nice and clean. You see that side, how nice it is, nice circle, nice and white. It's nice and healthy. It's got a little bit of a thickness to it. I like it. That's your SCOBY there. Your symbiotic bacteria, colony of yeast, and so that you add to each dish. And I just set this aside, clean it off, set it aside until I'm ready to add the new kombucha to it. It's steeped for a few minutes, so I'll take the tea bags out, give them a little squeeze too as I pull them out. Oh, there we go. And then mix my cup of sugar, cane sugar, in it. Stir it around. And you let it cool until it's lukewarm and you'll be ready. So while my tea is steeping, the ready to go kombucha that's made, I'll take that and I'll put it into these jars here, in these bottles here that you can get on Amazon. I'll put a link below. And I find they have a really tight fit to keep it airtight. Others with screw caps, they don't work well. This easily comes off, as you see, and can fit tight like that. So I find it great. And so I'll just put about a cup, fill a cup up with the new kombucha, and we're gonna put that in our new batch because you need about a cup to add to your new batch of tea that you made with sugar. So I've went ahead and bottled the new brew right here, and then I saved about a cup of the new brew to add to the one we're making right now. And so this is sat all day. It's cool to room temperature. So then that's when I like to add it. So I'll put it in the bottle that I'm gonna keep, and then put the kombucha, cup of kombucha in with it, with your tea, and then I got the SCOBY all cleaned and just put it in like that. And then I'll let this sit for around a week, 7 days, 7 to 8 days. I find is great. And then I use this kind of like a cheesecloth, but I've also used like a towel you can put over it as well, whatever. And I just use a little elastic to keep it secure around. With the new brew here, I'll put it in the fridge and you can begin to drink it. Also to flavor it, you can add, sometimes I squeeze frozen berries in it, or cut up some ginger pieces and you can put that in it to give it a little bit of taste and an extra health benefit as well. How is it?